everyone. Another edition of audiobooks for fiber lovers. So I'm going to be reading chapter 4 from Needlework for the Homemaker's Encyclopedia. And part 4 is on crocheting. I will link the playlist down below for the rest of the parts in this book and also for my other audiobooks for fiber lovers. Part 4, Crocheting. Crocheting is an ancient craft that has never lost its popularity. Easy to learn and satisfying to practice, it will enable you to make many beautiful and useful articles for your home. As with any other craft or art, you should learn before you start as much as you can about equipment and materials. There are different sizes of hooks and varying weights of thread, intended for different types of work. Whatever you make, you should always follow implicitly the instructions as to the size of the hook and the kind of thread and wool required. This is an extremely important point. It is nearly always the amateur who disregards the instructions and recommendations, whether for baking a pie, painting a room, or crocheting an afghan. In all these cases, the directions have been worked out by experts. To disregard their advice when you crochet means that your measurements will be off and the total result unsatisfactory. Crochet hooks. Crochet hooks are made of steel, aluminum, plastic, wood, or bone. Metal crochet hooks range in sizes from number 20, the largest, to number 14, the smallest. Bone hooks range in sizes from number 9, the largest, to number 1, the smallest. Each is intended for use with a certain size of thread or yarn. There are 2 hooks designed for special purposes. The first is a very large one of steel or bone, size G, used in rug making. The second is the afghan hook, made of bone or steel and used for the afghan stitch only. It is the same length as a knitting pin, but is made with a hook at one end. Its size is determined by a millimeter gauge, which is the exact measurement of the diameter of the largest part of the hook. Crochet threads. Texture, an important factor in the beauty of crochet, depends largely on the materials used. These run from fine mercerized threads used for tablecloths, doilies, and edgings, to rug yarns, which are used not only, as the name proclaims, in making rugs, but also for hot plate mats and pot holders. Bedspread cotton is as suitable for making luncheon sets, chair sets, and such articles as hats and handbags as it is for bedspreads. Wool yarns are of course best for afghans, blankets, babies' garments, sweaters, and other articles of wearing apparel. Then there are chenille, cord, and various yarns resembling straw or raffia. These are not only smart looking and hardy, but as some of them are made of plastic, they are washable as well. This makes them particularly suitable to placemats and table runners. Crochet abbreviations. It is important to know the abbreviations used in crochet instructions. CH, chain. SL space ST, slip stitch. SC, single crochet. HDC, half double crochet. DC, double crochet. TR, treble. D space TR, double treble. TR space TR, triple treble. PC space ST, popcorn stitch. BL, block. SP, space. P, picot. ST, stitch. RND, round. INCL, inclusive. INC, increase. DEC, decrease. YO, yarn over. IN period, inch. RPT, repeat. TOG, together. R, ring. J, join. SK, skip. Capital M, capital C, main color. Capital C, contrasting color. How to block crochet articles. Spread a pad on a table or on the floor on which the article can be stretched and pinned. Pin the article on pad, using rust-proof pins about every inch, stretching it to the original measurements. Lay a damp cloth over it. Pass a hot iron lightly over the cloth, allowing the steam to go through the article, but do not let the weight of the iron rest or press on it. Leave the article pinned down until dry. Fundamentals of crochet. Even though you may be a beginner, you can quickly grasp the fundamentals of this fascinating craft. Once you have mastered them, practice is all you need to develop skill and speed. The following instructions are for right-handed crocheters. Instructions for left-handed are in the section immediately following. So here are some figures. Crocheting. Step 1, make a loop. Grasp thread near end between thumb and forefinger of the left hand. With the right hand, make a loop by lapping long thread over short thread. Hold loop in place between thumb and forefinger of left hand. Step 2, with the right hand, take hold of the broad bar of the hook as you would a pencil. Insert hook through the loop and under the long thread. With right hand, catch long end of thread and draw loop through. Do not remove hook from thread. Step 3, pull short end and ball thread in opposite directions to bring loop close around the end of the hook, but not too tight. Step 4, what to do with the left hand. Measure with your eye about 4 inches along the ball thread from loop on hook. At about this point, insert thread between ring and little fingers, having palm of hand facing up. Bring thread toward back under little and ring fingers, over middle finger, and under the forefinger toward your thumb. Step 6, grasp hook and loop between thumb and forefinger of left hand. Gently pull thread so that it lies around the fingers firmly but not tightly. Catch knot of loop between thumb and forefinger. Step 7, what to do with the right hand. Take hold of the broad bar of the hook as you would a pencil. Bring middle finger forward to rest near the tip of the hook. Step 8, chain stitch. Abbreviation CH. Adjust fingers of the left hand as in figure 8. The middle finger is bent to regulate the tension. The ring and little finger control the thread. The motion of the hook in the right hand and the thread in the left hand should be free and even. Ease comes with practice. Step 9. Pass your hook under the thread and catch the thread with the hook. This is called thread over. Draw thread through the loop on the hook. This makes 1 chain. Step 10. Repeat step 9 until you have as many chain stitches as you need. 1 loop always remains on the hook. Always keep thumb and forefinger of the left hand near stitch on which you are working. Practice making chain stitches until they are even in size. Directions for the left-handed. Step 1, make a loop. Grasp thread near end between thumb and forefinger of right hand. With left hand, make a loop by lapping long thread over short thread. Hold loop in place between thumb and forefinger of the right hand. Step 2. With left hand, take hold of broad bar of hook as you would a pencil. Insert hook through loop and under long thread. With left hand, catch long end of thread. Draw loop through. Do not remove hook from thread. Pull short end and ball thread in opposite directions to bring loop close around the end of the hook, but not too tight. Step 4, what to do with the right hand. Measure with your eyes about 4 inches along ball thread from loop to hook. At about this point, insert thread between your ring and little fingers, having palm of hand facing up. Step 5, bring thread towards back, under little and ring fingers, over the middle finger, and under the forefinger toward the thumb. Grasp hook and loop between thumb and forefinger of right hand. Gently pull ball thread so that it lies around the fingers firmly, but not tightly. Catch knot of loop between thumb and forefinger. Step 7, what to do with the left hand. Take hold of broad bar of hook as you would a pencil. Bring middle finger toward the rest near tip of the hook. Step 8, chain stitch. Abbreviation CH. Adjust fingers of the right hand as in figure 8. The middle finger is bent to regulate the tension. The ring and little fingers control the thread. The motion of the hook in the left hand in the thread in the right hand should be free and even. Ease comes with practice. Step 9. Pass your hook under the thread and catch thread with hook. This is called thread over. Draw thread through the loop on the hook. This makes 1 chain. Step 10. Repeat step 9 until you have as many chain stitches as you need. 1 loop always remains on the hook. Always keep thumb and forefinger of your right hand near stitch on which you are working. Practice making chain stitches until they are even inside. All the illustrations of stitches shown in this book are in position for right-handed crocheters. The right-handed crocheter works from right to left. The left-handed crocheter works from left to right. The directions for each stitch apply to both right-handed and left-handed workers. For the left-handed, if you'll place a pocket mirror to the left of each illustration, you'll see reflected in it the exact position in which you work. Note, in all crocheting, it's customary to pick up the top 2 threads of every stitch as you work, unless the instructions specify otherwise. When only the back stitch is picked up, a different effect, known as the rib stitch, is produced. Single crochet. Make a foundation chain of 20 stitches for a practice piece. First row. To begin row, insert hook from the front under the top 2 threads of the second chain, CH, from the hook. Catch thread with a hook, thread over, and draw through the stitch, ST. There are now 2 loops on the hook. Thread over and draw through 2 loops. 1 loop remains on the hook. 1 single crochet, SC, is now completed. For the next single crochet, SC, insert hook under 2 top threads of next stitch, ST, and proceed as before. Repeat steps 2 and 3. 5. Repeat until you have made a single crochet, SC, in every CH. At end of row of single crochets, chain, CH, 1. 7. Turn your work so that the reverse side is facing you. Second row. Insert hook from the front under the top 2 threads of second stitch from the hook. First stitch on previous row. 2. Repeat steps 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 in directions for the first row. Third row, 1. Repeat second row. Fourth row, 2. Clip thread about 3 inches from your work. Bring loose end through the loop remaining on hook and pull tightly. You have now completed your practice piece in single crochet. Turning work. In crochet, a certain number of chain stitches is added to the end of every row to bring work in position for the next row. Then the work is turned so the reverse side is facing the worker. You have noticed that in single crochet, only 1 chain is used for turning. The number of turning chains depends on the stitch which you intend to begin the next row. The exact number will always be indicated in the directions. The turning chain always counts as the first stitch. Double crochet. Make a foundation chain of 20 stitches for the practice piece. First row, 1. To begin row, thread over and insert hook from the front under the 2 top threads of the 4th chain from the hook. 2. Thread over and draw through stitch. There are now 3 loops on hook. 3. Thread over and draw through 2 loops. 2 loops remain on hook. 4. Thread over again and draw through the 2 remaining loops. 1 loop remains on hook. 1 double crochet, DC, is now completed. 5. For next double crochet, DC, thread over, insert hook from the front under the 2 top threads of the next stitch, ST, and proceed as before. Repeat steps 2, 3, and 4. 6. Repeat until you have made a double crochet, DC, in every chain. At end of the row, chain 3, CH3, and turn. The 3 chain stitches count as the first double crochet, DC, in next row. Second row. To begin row, thread over, Insert hook from under the top 2 threads of the 5th stitch from the hook, 2nd stitch on previous row. 2. Repeat steps 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 3rd and 4th rows. 1. Repeat 2nd row. 2. Finish off at end of 4th row by cutting the thread about 3 inches away from the last double crochet, DC. Bring end through loop and pull tightly. Half double crochet. The stitch is known as half double crochet, is made by repeating steps 1 and 2 of double crochet. At that point, there are 3 loops on the hook. Then thread over and draw through all 3 loops at once. And half double crochet, chain 2, CH2, to turn. Slip stitch. It is not necessary to make a practice piece for slip stitch, SL space ST, because it is only used in joining or when an invisible stitch is required. If the directions call for a slip stitch, SL space ST, refer to this page to see how it is done. When the directions say join, you always use a slip stitch. And 1. Insert hook from the front of the 2 top threads of stitch, ST. 2. Thread over and with 1 motion, draw through stitch, ST, and loop on hook. 1 loop remains on hook. Increasing and decreasing. How to increase with the stitches you have learned. 1. Make 2 stitches, STS, and 1 stitch, ST. Each time you do this, you make an extra stitch, ST, on row. 2. The directions instruct where to increase. How to decrease with the stitches you have learned. Single crochet. 1. Complete a single crochet, SC, to the point where the 2 loops remain on the hook. 2. Keep the 2 loops on hook and insert hook from the front under the top 2 threads of the next stitch, ST. 3. Thread over and draw through stitch, ST. There are now 3 loops on hook. 4. Thread over and draw through the 3 loops at once. 1 loop remains on hook. You have now worked 2 single crochets together, and there is 1 less on row. 5. The directions instruct you where to decrease. Double crochet. 1. Make a double crochet, DC, to the point where there are 2 loops on the hook. 2. Keep 2 loops on hook. Thread over and insert hook from the front under the 2 top threads of next stitch, ST. 3. Thread over and draw through stitch, ST. There are 4 loops on hook. 4. Thread over again and draw through 2 loops. 3 loops remain on hook. Thread over and draw through 3 loops. 1 loop remains on hook. You have now worked 2 double crochets together, and there is 1 stitch less on row. 6. The directions instruct you where to decrease. Gauge. When you are planning to make an article, it is very important that you should not ignore the word gauge. If you wish your article to be the correct size. The word gauge may not appear in every set of crochet directions, but it does appear wherever necessary. Gauge means the number of stitches equivalent to 1 inch, and the number of rows equivalent to 1 inch. Make a practice piece at least 2 inches square, using the hook and thread specified in directions. If your stitches to the inch do not correspond with the stitches to the inch in the gauge, something is wrong. More stitches than those specified to the inch means that you should use a larger hook. With fewer stitches to the inch, use a smaller hook and try again. Keep changing your hook until your gauge is exactly the same as the gauge specified. Finish. Be sure that the reverse side of your work is neat. Fine needlewomen take as much pride in the back of their work as they do in the front. After you have finished the article on which you are working, cut the thread about 4 inches away from the last loop. Thread this end in a needle and make a secure finish by darning it through the solid part of the crochet. Cut off the remaining thread close to work. The starting end should be sufficiently long to enable you to finish off these ends in the same manner. When you are sewing pieces together, no knots should appear. Begin with several over and under stitches, and if possible, by darning the thread through the solid portion for a short distance. How to follow the asterisk. Sometimes in the directions you will see the following phrases. 1. Repeat from asterisk across. 2. Repeat from asterisk around. 3. Repeat from asterisk 3 or any number more times. In numbers 1 and 2, follow the directions from the first to the last asterisk, completely across row or around. In number 3, follow the directions from the first asterisk as many times as specified. Once you have developed ease and speed in doing single and double crochet, you can start to make things for your own house or as presents for your friends. The filet tray cloth inspired is as attractive as it is easy to make. Filet is a type of crochet consisting of spaces and blocks of chain stitch and double crochet, so arranged as to produce an interesting design. All filet designs are worked from a chart of squares. The dark squares represent blocks and the light squares represent spaces. Unless otherwise instructed in the directions, allow 4 double crochets, 4 DC for the first block, and 3 double crochets, 3 DC for each additional block. For instance, 3 blocks require 10 double crochets, 10 DC. To make a row of spaces, first work in a foundation chain, then make double crochet DC and 8th chain CH from hook, asterisk. Chain CH2, skip 2, chain CH, double crochet DC, and next chain CH. Repeat from asterisk to end of chain CH. Chain CH5 to turn at the end of the row. When there are several rows of spaces to be made, each double crochet is worked directly over double crochet of previous row, and same number of chains is made between double crochets. Future plans on this channel is doing crochet tutorials on the patterns in this book. The next section we're going to be reading is part 5, knitting. So please join me for that. Please like, share, and subscribe so your friends can be affordably crafty too, and have a creative day, everyone. And I hope you enjoyed this audiobook for fiber lovers. Bye-bye.